Guys, I want you to know I was talking to my son. He come by today. He's got a chocolate lab that they bought that they are having trained and everything to be a service dog for my granddaughter. And the dog had to come to the veterinarian's office over here. And it's over here by my house. And they told him it's going to be a little while. He could either sit there and wait. And he said, hell with that. I'm going over to my mom and dad's. We were right around the corner. So he shows up, and I'm sitting there. My wife's work. She's got an office in our house. That's where she works from the house. And at the time, I'm sitting there rolling my cigarettes. I got a machine and it rolls, and I got to do it every day, folks. I roll all my own cigarettes. And all of a sudden, I was thinking maybe my daughter got off early or something because the door's opening up. And all of a sudden, my son steps in. I'm like, because I know that Fridays is his days off. He works either 410s or 412s or something, folks. He's a lineman up on the poles and shit. Up there on, or he does actually fiber optic. What do they call it? Fiber optic. He fuses they roll out all the fiber optics, and then he comes in and he fuses each one of those lines together. That's what he does. He's a whatever they call that, but that's what he does. He either does it up in the air on the poles or he does it underground, they call it. But me and him's talking, and we're talking about what's kind of been going on my channel again. He don't he don't watch them all, but he kind of not all of my channels, but he kind of keeps up with a few of them. As long as YouTube don't unsub him, they unsub him from all my channels, folks. He just finally got tired of resubbing and shit, so he just comes over and talks to me about what I put on that channel. But he comes over and we're talking about what's been going on, and this short that I put out that over these balloons being the satellite system and stuff, and he read the comments and stuff, and he goes, "Fuck, oh man, why don't you just do the thermodynamic video? You've done it 100 times. Why aren't you just throwing that back on there?" I go, "Oh." I said, "You don't even understand where the word thermodynamics totally shuts these people's brains down." And he goes, "What?" I go, "It's my son's name is David. My first name's David, and he's my stepson. I wasn't nowhere around when he was born. He was 3.5 years old uh, when we met, and but his first name's David. My first name's David. That's funny, ain't it, folks? That really is to me. I mean, I would have named my first son David if I had one. I would have named him David as well. I didn't. I wasn't even there when this boy was born, and he is my son. God put us together. Ain't no doubt. No doubt. But he's sitting there, and I'm telling him what's been going on and shit, and he's seen a little bit of it. And he's seen the short, and he said, "Why don't you pop up? Why don't you just tell him the thermodynamics and just move on from there?" And I'm like, they won't understand it. So I'm gonna go along with what my son told me. and I'm going to go across this again. I'm going to do it as simple as I can. I know you people, thermodynamics is a $50 word. And oh my goodness, you can't understand it, right? That's what you want to tell me? You're not smart enough to understand thermodynamics? You don't have to be a professor. You don't have to have a PhD or an MD or anything else to understand thermodynamics, people. Thermodynamics happens around you all day, every day. And if you don't even understand what it is, that shows your level of ignorance. I'm not calling ignorance is not a bad word, folks. I don't know what words to use for you guys. Are you morons? Oh, no, 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 no. Heathens? Oh, no, no. Whores, sluts? Oh, no, no. I don't know what words to use for it. How am I supposed to tell you, give you any proof when I don't even know what words I'm allowed to use around you people? Do you not understand this? This is my dilemma. This is my dilemma. And this is why I get so upset. Because I do know the truth. I do know the facts. And a lot of them, I did know a little bit of it, but it's been shown to me so that I can tell you. But you guys don't want to believe me because I'm just an old man. I'm just an old man. I don't know nothing. I ain't done nothing. I ain't been nowhere. You guys in your little short lives of 20 or 30 some years, you guys know more than I will ever know or have ever known because you guys are smarter than me. People, I'm sorry. I do get emotional because I get tired of making these same old videos and then they shut my channels down. And it doesn't even matter. If I made a video 3 months ago, some bitch still only has 30 views on it. So why? I mean, I need to make the same videos over and 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 over in order to keep the same people around. I don't even know what to do with this, but here we go, folks. And I'm dedicating this one to my son telling, oh man, why don't you just do the thermodynamics video again? I love him to death. So for those of you who actually want the facts, empirical, and if you don't know what that means, I don't even know if you can look it up today. I don't even know in your society if I'm using the word correctly. To be honest with you, because your society thinks all we have to do is just change the definition of a word. You don't think you have to have any facts. We just change the definition. And I'll tell you what, folks, if you don't think God is so disgusted with this just as much as I am, I assure you he is. And I'm not speaking for God at all. But I know how disgusting this shit is to me. And I'm sorry, folks. If I've said that word any other times in this video, I'm sorry for that as well. I'm trying to stop saying those words. I don't need them anymore. I don't need those words anymore. I have God. So, for you, those of you that think I have to give you proof of why there isn't a ball Earth, here we go. But I'm going to tell you a few things that you're going to have to know or understand in order for you to understand what I'm going to say. And I can't do that in 15 minutes. I can't go back and retrain you. You're going to have to go back and retrain yourself. You're going to have to, because they've lied to you, folks. They've lied to you 100% across the board. Every one of them, both sides, anyone involved in the government is lying to you today. Now, we're going to get to the first thing. In order for you to understand any part of thermodynamics, and it's not that hard, it's 4 laws, folks. 4 laws that cannot be broken by man. 4 laws. And this stuff happens around you all day, every day. Entropy happens around you all day, every day. The simple fact, if you drink a hot cup of coffee or tea, you boil the water, or you put it in your tea or coffee maker or whatever, and the water boils in there. You add energy to that water. It's hot. When the energy is added to it, it builds up and it gets hotter and hotter until it's a hot cup of coffee or tea. As soon as you take the energy off of it, and it's just sitting there, it goes from where you'd had energy put to it, which made it hot, to where now it's sitting there, no energy in it, and it's going to cool down to room temperature. You can't stop that. Man can't change that without putting more energy into that cup of coffee. You would have to keep it sitting on a hot plate or something to keep it continuously hot. No matter how thermo protected cup you got, it will still slowly go from hot to cold. That is thermodynamics, folks. Oh my God. Oh my God. You guys actually know what thermodynamics is now. Now you don't have to be afraid of that $50 word. That's thermodynamics. Hot will always go to cold. You will never have cold going to hot unless you had it so cold that you had to put energy to it, like a freezer. And then it will come out and go from frozen because you put energy behind it, the freezer, and you put it out into the open, and now it's going to move into room temperature. After you take the energy off of it and it comes down, that's still entropy. That's still entropy. Because it's coming back to what they call equilibrium. Everything is in equilibrium. Folks, right here, let's say this is a table. I lay that lighter on that table. There ain't no energy going into that lighter. No energy. It's just laying there. It's happy. That's called equilibrium. As soon as I do this and pick it up, it's out of its equilibrium. It is no longer in equilibrium. And until it can lay back down and rest, it is no longer, or until it lays back down, it is out of its equilibrium. Now, that's just to give you a short part of thermodynamics. Small piece. And a couple of words that you need to understand. Now, with thermodynamics, in the second law of thermodynamics, you have entropy that can be between hot water, like I said, heating up a hot cup of coffee or tea, and then you set it down, and entropy going from hot to cold, or room temperature, That's entropy. And then you have other kinds of entropy, but it's still entropy. And another kind of entropy involves gas pressure. Gas pressure, folks. I'm not telling you nothing you ain't never heard of. If you have a basketball, football, tire on a car, bicycle, that is gas pressure. Anyone disagree? Anyone disagree with that? Now, if you got a bottle of propane, now you got a little bit more of gas pressure, different kinds of gas pressure than just air pressure. You got gas pressure. I might have been screwed up a little bit earlier. That was air pressure. This is gas pressure. When you add propane or helium or anything like that, that's gas pressure. A balloon that you put helium in and it rises to the ceiling, gas pressure. Anyone want to deny that? Okay. Now, and I'm going to say this because this is exactly what it is, folks. And because of definition changes and everything that you guys are doing today, I'm going to push it back a little bit further. I'm not going to use morons, brain dead, walking brain dead, anything like that. I'm just going to use the word heathen. I'm going way back. Heathens goes back 100, 150, 200 years, people. That's when they were using the word heathen. So I'm going back to heathen. And this is what you heathens believe today. That's a fact. If you believe this, sorry, you are a heathen. That's the definition, folks. I didn't make it. I might have flipped the switch on when God said, "Let there be light." I might have been. I am old enough. I might have been over there, been the one who flipped the switch. But I wasn't there when these words were made up. I wasn't asked about these words. Now this is what heathens believe. The earth is a ball. The gas atmosphere, the water, and even the humans are sucked to the earth by gravity. Earth spins at the same time it is flying through a vacuum of space. It's not only spinning at 1,000 miles an hour, it's flying at a 660,000 miles an hour or whatever, orbiting your sun. Now you guys claim your atmosphere, your gas, and it is a pressurized gas, folks. Your pressurized gas atmosphere is something like 17 to the negative torr or some shit. I used to know this shit, folks. I used to get on Nathan Oakley's flat earth debates. I've been involved in a lot of shit, folks. I used to know this shit. I'm getting old. I can't retain all this shit and still remember how to eat. So I take notes. But this stuff, these notes and stuff, I looked up a few things just to ensure what I was saying was correct. But I'm still running off my memory. I just sit down and draw it out. Second law of thermodynamics, folks, says you cannot have pressure without a container. You cannot have air pressure. You cannot have gas pressure. You can't have pressure without a container. Now, the 4 laws of thermodynamics are natural laws. Once again, I think I already said this, and I always repeat myself. Natural laws cannot be broken by man. These laws were proven decades and decades ago that they cannot be broken by any man. With your atmosphere being a 17 to the negative to or whatever pressure, how can you have a vacuum, endless vacuum of space above your gas, pressurized gas atmosphere without a container? How? How? Any one of you? I already know. I already know, and I'm going to give it to you. Don't believe me? I'm still back here. You want me to tell you how they tell you it happens? It's gravity. Your gravity. Now, they claim it takes the mass of something the size of the earth in order to create gravity. The mass of something the size of the earth to recreate gravity. This, folks, is why they cannot prove gravity exists, because they don't have a planet in a laboratory. They claim gravity holds everything to the earth. The water, you and I, the atmosphere, the gas pressure. They claim it holds all that gravity. And gravity comes because the mass of the earth is so great. But it has to have another thing. It's got to have another thing. There's got to be two objects. Like the moon, the sun, or all the other planets. People, I didn't make this shit up. This is what you guys believe. This is what you guys believe, not me. Shit. Let's see. They claim gravity is what holds all this stuff, and it's the mass of the earth, the weight, everything, spin, whatever, between it and the moon, it and the sun, it and whatever, that causes the gravity. Now, we're going to go back. I'm going to say it one more time. Second law of thermodynamics is a law of nature. It says you cannot have gas pressure without a container. Sorry, folks. I don't care what theories you believe. So I'm going to give you this. Biggest planet, so-called planet, in your so-called solar system is Jupiter. Yes, shit. Wait till you look up. Oh, man. Wait till you get on Google and see all the bullshit they say about Jupiter right now. Because I just did and I was laughing. But I'm going to give you some of what they said. Now, Jupiter, it's the biggest planet in your solar system. And it's primarily hydrogen and helium in a vacuum of space. Jupiter is 11 times the Earth diameter. 11 times. Its density is 24%. 24% of the Earth. Jupiter lacks a solid surface. A solid surface. So I guess that self-perpetuating molten iron core, along with however thick you guys say the dirt is on this Earth planet, combined with the water and the weight of the water and the trees and everything else that's on this Earth. Jupiter lacks a solid surface. It says on Google, gravity is an attractive force that exists between any two objects with mass. Mass. That's what Google says. All I can say is then me and my wife produce gravity. Me and my wife we've been attracted force for 32 years at least. We've been married that long. So me and my wife must have gravity between us. You guys believe that, don't you? I know you do. Hell, you guys, Common Core's the best math you've ever had. And they already said up in Boston, there ain't one person that could pass a math test from the 1970s. Gravity, they say on Google, is affected by the size of an object and the distance between the object. Let me ask you something, folks. How can a planet made of primarily no solid surface, made primarily of hydrogen and helium, gases, and you're going to tell me that in a vacuum of space, that little ball, or that big mass, it's masses, folks, that big ball of gas is just hanging in a vacuum of space. Just hanging there. You can look at through a telescope and see it. Shit. People, do you even understand what it takes for gases to build pressure? In order for a gas to build pressure, it has to have something to bounce off of. Helium, hydrogen, oxygen, all these things, they move out in all directions. All directions. All gases, not fluids, gases, move out in all directions until they bounce off of something. And until they continue to bounce off of something, and it's called a container, they cannot build pressure. In a vacuum of space, gas would move out in all directions in order to fill the volume of the area of the endless vacuum of space. If you have an endless vacuum of space, which means there's absolutely nothing there, no molecules, nothing, no heat, hot, no cold, there is nothing in a vacuum, and you're pumping some kind of gases out from Jupiter, there isn't even nothing to be producing gases. There is no solid anything, they claim. What's producing the gases? And what is holding it in place for it to be measured? Folks, this is why I call you the walking brain dead. This is why I get upset. Because you younger folks think you just know so much more than this old man. And when they were teaching me the lies they were teaching me 50 years ago, they aren't the same lies they were teaching you today or when you went to school. You people believe if it's written in a book, it's a fact. Oh, shit. I'm sorry for using shit again, folks. I just stopped thinking about it. I still go back to my old time and just not caring. Today I've seen it. You guys call it the laws of gravity. The law, like the laws of thermodynamics. Wrong. Thermodynamics is proven with scientific method by many scientists. Your law of gravity is pseudoscience and has never been produced in any experiment anywhere on Earth or in the heavens. I get tired of telling people, I thought I knew everything at 20 and 30 and 40 years old myself. I thought I had it all figured out. I wasn't even close. So there you go, folks. For those of you that ask me for proof, here's my proof. Your lies cannot exist. I don't have to give you proof of what I know. I'm giving you proof of what you know to be a lie. That's even better. So for those of you, you decide. Do a little bit of research. See if I ain't talking the truth. Or make your own decision based on ignorance as who's telling you the truth. God loves you. I love you. And if you're not following the way, all I'm going to say is, I'm going to keep saying it, but it hurts me to say it. If you're so far gone, it's called a reprobate mind. Once God has decided you're so far gone, there's nothing that will ever change you back. You will have a reprobate mind, and no praying, nothing will help you. So, are you so sure you're right? Because I'm pretty sure I'm right. I'm 100% sure I'm right. But I don't get my information from the same people you do, or I wouldn't even be having this conversation with any of you. So it's up to you. Who you listening to? Can they back themselves with facts or theories? Facts is real science, folks. And I go along with a lot of real science. A lot of it. Empirical science. But I don't go along with theories. Pseudoscience. That's for you younger generation. You don't need no proof. Do as you will. We're pagans. We're going back to pagans. We're going back to being pagans. We can be God too. There ain't nothing new under the sun, folks. God loves you. If you're not seeking that, you're only going to get what you deserve. What we all deserve for being sinners. And it ain't coming from me. I won't have nothing to do with it. Nobody's going to ask me what to do with it. I just pray that you understand what I understand before it's too late for your soul. I was lucky. I was protected. Love you guys.